Life cover is not expensive. You can potentially get R1 million life cover for about 200 Rand a month. A lot of risk factors will determine the price. Nobody's cover costs the same. So your age, your qualification, your smoker status, your occupation, your salary, things like that will play a role on what it will cost you. But yes, you could get R1 million for around 200 Rand a month. And if you calculate how long you'll have to save to get R1 million, it is 416 years at 200 Rand a month. So no, it's not expensive. You could never save the amount of cover that you could get for the price. And yes, you're not the one that will receive the money. It will be a family member or someone else when you pass away, whoever you nominated as a beneficiary. But yes, you're guaranteed that at some point in the future, you will die and it will pay out. It's an easy way to make provision for loved ones. Retirement annuities don't make any promises anymore. These days, if you invest, especially if you invest directly with an investment manager and you don't go via another company or platform, not only is it cheaper because you cut out some administration fees, like a middleman kind of fee that you don't have to pay, but they don't have the restrictions and the promises and the guarantees as well. Remember that as well, that they had in the past. A lot of people feel that in the old days, they bought retirement annuities and that they didn't get what they were promised. And then, yes, it's about how it was invested in those days, the fact that there were many, many fees, and then restrictions that made it for them difficult to leave the platform because of the kind of contract they signed at entry. But these days, if you don't pick or choose to go via a platform like that, there's no promises. It's just like a normal investment. You invest it, whatever the markets do is what you will get out at retirement. There are some rules with regards to retirement, and there are some restrictions as to how you can invest it, but they're all there to protect you and to make sure that you keep it for the purpose it's intended, retirement. So no, retirement annuities do not overpromise and underdeliver. Your choice and the market movements and the underlying investment is the thing that is going to be the delivery in the end. Every time the market dips or it goes down for a longer period than usual, there are some people that will fear and want to take their money out of the market because they want to put it in the bank because they think it is going to be protected in the bank. The thing is that if the markets are going down, there are other factors and economic factors that is going on in the background as well. And yes, maybe for the short period of the couple of months, or even maybe a year or two that the markets are down, you will be better off in the bank. And the interest rates they offer might be more than what you could get in the market. But the problem is you've already realized those losses. And now you don't have any other way of making it up than that interest rate, which also fluctuates. Because it will also go up the moment the markets affect the interest rates, or down when the interest rates are being affected by inflation. So it's also not guaranteed. And then when you choose to put that money back in the market because you see, oh, okay, it's getting better now, you already lost out. You lost out on that upturn, that first initial recovery. And then you don't get the full benefit if you would have if you just left it there and went through the whole period. So yes, now your money is not safer in the bank. Maybe for a short period you can beat the returns, but then you've already lost if you take it out of the market at the wrong time. And the interest rates do not beat what the markets can do over longer periods. That we know for a fact. Yes, your will is your wishes to say what you want to happen to your possessions. And yes, if you have no possessions, you might feel you don't need a will. But the problem is that in our country, everybody who passes away immediately starts a new entity. It's called the deceased estate. And somebody must administer that deceased estate. And yes, it's easy to Google and see the process, but you're dealing with people like the master of the court and municipalities and banks and registration of vehicles and things like that. And if you have contacts and you know the process, it's just much easier and much quicker for somebody with experience and contacts to administer that estate and get it finalized quickly without it going up and down between the master's office for additional requirements. So it's best if you have a will to appoint an executor. That is the person that you say, I want these people to act on my behalf and to deal with the administration of my estate when I pass away. It is also important to have a will the moment you get married and have children, because you have to appoint guardians and trustees of a minor children's trust and things like that when you get there in that stage of your life. But yes, even if you own nothing, you still need a will the moment that you start working. You're no longer a minor because you need to appoint an executor. It will just make life so much easier for the people who stays behind to deal with the administration if you do have a will. First, I have to say, this is my opinion. There are different views on this, but this is my opinion. I don't think a car is an investment. Yes, maybe if you're collecting cars and you're buying and selling them to make a profit and things like that, maybe it could be. But here's the reason why I don't feel that in normal circumstances, on average, a car is not an investment. Firstly, it attracts a whole lot of costs with it. There's constant expenses on a daily basis with a car, maintenance, petrol, licensing, things like that. Okay. Also, it's not something you're going to keep for a very long time. 4 or 5 years, many people tend to turn their cars, especially if they're younger, in a 4 or 5 year term. And that is not a long period when it comes to investing. And then lastly, it devaluates, it depreciates, it doesn't grow in value. So if you buy a car cash, you're taking money, buying the vehicle, and knowing that you can't sell that vehicle for the same amount that you bought it. You used it, it reduced in value. So when you sell it, you're going to get less money back than what you put in. If I tell you, please give me your money, I'm going to invest it for you. In 4 or 5 years' time, I'm going to give you less than what you put in. You're not going to invest with me, are you? Okay, so it's not an investment. So if you are strapped for money, for cash, and you have to split your money, even your budget, your cash flow, the monthly expenses that you have between different things, prioritize and do not prioritize the car to be bought in cash. Yes, the quicker you pay it off, the less interest you pay on it. I agree that interest can be very, very high on cars, but don't just look at that. Look at cash flow, look at investing at the same time. Don't put all your money just in that vehicle because you don't want to have the interest on it. As I said, it's not an investment. Again, this is also my opinion. Property is a great investment and it's a long-term investment, and you will almost always grow your money if you buy property, because when you sell it, you'll get more than what you've put in. Property grows well. But the house you live in is not such a great investment because, again, it attracts a whole lot of costs and expenses and maintenance. You're probably not going to keep it forever. You're probably going to buy another house with a higher bond, higher expenses, more expenses. So no, in my opinion, the house you live in is not a great investment. You could maybe have it as part of your investment plan, your retirement plan per se, but don't let it be your only retirement plan. A lot of people get at retirement, they want to get rid of the house, they don't have money to pay all the costs involved in maintaining it, just getting it ready to be sold. estate agent fees, the transfer duty, all the costs involved in selling a property. And then they sit with the property, or the markets are down at the time that they want to sell it and they don't get the price they bargained on and they don't have enough money to retire on. Or they just struggle to get it sold because the market's not in their favor. And they don't get money and they can't retire. They have to postpone their retirement, or they don't have enough income and they have to live a really, really, really tight retirement. So don't put your eggs in one basket. Don't just have property. You cannot eat property. So diversify your portfolio. Yes, property is not a bad idea, especially if you're going to buy it to rent it out for a rental income after retirement. But bear in mind that there are some limitations when it comes to property. So don't let it be your only provision. Spoiler alert, I might be stepping on some toes. A broker is a broker is a broker. No, you get very, very many different brokers out there. Some call themselves brokers, some call themselves advisors, some call themselves planners. Most of them have the same training, most of them have the same knowledge, most of them have the same experience. In the end, it's about how they apply that experience and the knowledge and the education. Some, it's clear as daylight, just trying to sell you something. Beware. But if you find someone that has your best interest at heart, that's just trying to make a living like any other normal person, but they really give you advice and they tell you when something's a bad idea, and they don't try and shove something down your throat that you don't think you need. And they do a needs analysis and they prove with figures and facts that you do need what they are proposing. And they're pointing out the risk factors as they're supposed to. And they're doing regular reviews. It's not a once-off and you never hear of them again. That's the kind of person you want to trust. The person you want to start a long-term relationship with. And that is what it's supposed to be. It's not a one-hit wonder. It's not supposed to be someone that's quickly going to make you some money in an investment or sells you a quick life policy because your bond requires it, the bank requires it. It's someone that walks with you from the day you start with your first salary and gets you through all the life stages unto your retirement. And they help even your children with their planning. That is a real financial advisor.